Okay, so we're about ready to tackle the brakes, putting new brake pads in here. We decided that the rotors were fine. It's no real lip here, and they seem to be in good shape. They don't feel like they have any ridges or anything. So we could get new rotors or have them turned. I'm gonna let them go just like that. So before I get started, a couple of things that make my life a little bit easier. First of all, the drop light. I used some mechanics wire and kind of tied it up here, and then I tied it over to here just to keep it from swinging around and shining right in my eyes, because I can't see anything when the light's shining in my eyes, but kind of shining that way, it sort of lights everything indirectly and makes my job a lot easier. So then the next thing I did was I took the caliper and I tied it up with some mechanics wire over here. And so then I have kind of like nice access to the whole thing, because these brakes are the easiest I've ever done and the hardest. Well, they're not that bad, but they require a special tool. And a special tool compresses the piston in the caliper while it screws it in. So like screwing it in like a screw while squeezing it at the same time. So the tool on Amazon was $13. That seems like a reasonable price to me, but I'm too cheap and I'm gonna figure out a way to do it without using that. So let's begin. Okay, so we left the kind of this cage in place, and these are the little springs that hold the brake shoes in. Brake pads. They're pads or shoes. So this is the inboard one, and this is the outboard one right here. And I have to get these metal plates off the old ones to put them on the new ones. And in doing this, I figured out what the problem was with the shoe on the other side. If you look at this pattern right there, this is the inboard one that matches the pattern here on the piston. And then there's a little nub right here. I looked carefully the one on the other side, and they didn't have the piston turned properly, and it was actually riding up on top of here. This one you can see is actually just nipped the side of it. So, but the other one was completely riding on it, and what that did is that cockeyed the pad sideways, and then it was, when it was pushing in and out, it was only contacting a small part of the brake pad. And that's what the problem was. They just never did it. So when I am screwing this in, I have to make sure that the wings of this are kind of like down. These two wings have to be sort of oriented this way. I guess this way, so that when this is in here, they ride this way and not one of the things on here, because then all kinds of weird stuff happens. So I think just somebody sloppy put it in really fast, and they didn't really take care of what they were doing. All right, so let's do the inboard one first. Just grab a screwdriver and stab myself with this, which is probably what I'm going to do here. But if I'm careful, it just kind of peels off. All right, so then that's the end of that thing. Looks like there's a little bit of that old like brake quiet stuff, so that'll be great for next time. Probably should replace this or something, but I think we can let it go into service one more time. Oh, fits perfectly like a glove. Look at that. That fits like it was made to be there. And then do the same thing here. Just trying to find like a little part that's up to get purchased here. Throw that one away. Kind of clean off this. I just put this in there to kind of help stick it to it. This is some molybdenum grease, moly grease. and I use it for everything, like this. So we go like that, and then what we're gonna do here is, this is the outboard pad, so these little ears right here, right on here, so we want some grease there. And of course we want some grease on these ears, different ears, to make sure that this thing glides back and forth as you push the your foot on the brake. And then what we're gonna do is grab some grease and sort of grease up these things where it goes. And I think that's probably enough. Okay, so I have that thing screwed in quite a bit, and I even straightened out the rubber piece. So if I can get this piece of mechanics wire to get the heck out of my way. And then, viola. Just like clockwork, and I made sure that that piston was facing the right way. This one looks like it's pretty good. And I think it's time for some bolts. Sorry about the back of my head. I know it's probably pretty annoying, and you're like, dude, this dude is bald. Not as bald as some guys. Some people say bald is beautiful. Okay, and now's the time when you can kind of like take your light and, well, let's see, so we don't forget it. Let's get this piece of mechanics wire out of the way. Let's get this piece out of the way. And let's leave that piece there. Okay, so I'm checking the brake line. Looks like it's nice and pliable and facing in the right direction. And the brake cable, emergency brake cable. So that has the metal plate, and it looks like the caliper is contacting it correctly. That's in place. Good, so let's tighten this up. All right, only one thing left to do. Woo. And we're done. A little test drive. Hopefully everything will work fine. And thanks for watching. Okay, so we received the new headlights and we put this one on already, plugged it in, and all the lights work. And we're going to put the bumper cover back on after we finish this one. So what do you have to do, Em, with this?
Off.
Okay.
That was really bad. I feel like this is a plastic screw.
Yeah, a lot of cars are plastic nowadays. And then you have to pop that out and try to get to one of the screws. There's 3 screws that hold it in. One is here, one is down here, and then there's one kind of behind that little panel, and Emily's going to take it out. It's this one right here. You took it out on the other side and put it in.
It's a 10 millimeter, right?
Yep.
This one.
And we can see all of the condensation, and this is the old headlight. And the thing is this is what it should have looked like, and this is what it actually did look like. So for some reason this got broken, swelled. I don't know if there was an impact at some point, but the water is flowing right in there. I'm sure that's where the water's getting in and kind of ruining. You can see the bulb is really black in there. And the nice thing is these new headlights came with all new bulbs and everything. So it's really just a matter of unplugging the pluggers and plugging them back in. Pretty easy.
Well, we finished putting on both headlights and then also put back the bumper cover. The first step is to install the in-cabin air filter. Next is to install the engine air filter. Oh gosh. But seriously, install in-cabin air filter behind the glove box. Get airflow correct. There is an arrow on the filter. Okay, so now we're actually gonna install the new engine air filter. So right here, there's a lever. You're just gonna click it on this side as well as over here on this side. Just comes off easily. And then you have to wiggle this open, put it up, and here's, you see the old air filter, engine air filter. So you take this off, and then you have to put it in the same way.
Line up the square.
Line up the square.
The 3 corners are rounded and 1 corner is square.
Yes. And then you put it,
Make sure it's fit on the lip all the way around. Oh, there you go. Good.
And
then put your hinges on first. The hinges are kind of in the back there.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. You got to get these hinges on right. Nope. They sort of go under. Yeah, like that. There you go. There you go.
And then
clip that.
And clip this one over here. It doesn't help if you're 4'11" like me, but somehow manage. And there you go. Now we're gonna close this. Bye.
And off to college. See you this summer.